On Friday night, this friend of mine who is known to me for 25 years, so and you know, hers is not the only story to come from this night. She pulled up outside this venue to collect her child and just had a really strange feeling of being watched, which is a really eerie feeling because she hadn't felt that before. And she realized there were lots of smiling faces in the bushes around the venue, which really terrified her. So the parents were all lining up in the cars, waiting for their teenagers to come out. And a couple of them, maybe they'd been texting their parents and they'd said, we're outside, left the party early. So a couple of them left before sort of the mass of teenagers popped out. And the first girl that came out, suddenly all these faces that were in the bushes rushed her and they beat her. And they beat her to the ground. They were swinging nunchakas around. And they were beating her up, apparently, to take her mobile phone. And as these Sudanese teenagers came from the bushes, they looked to be, the mums at the time said they looked to be about 50 plus, right? Which is a lot. That's a scary amount.
It's a lot of people there. I understand you've talked to the police. What are the police doing about this?
The police are all over it. It is an active investigation. So what we do know is the mother of that girl then arrived, right, Pete? Yep. So I just wanted to finish because she did arrive and she did, I think, what I would do. She lost it, right? Your child's on the ground, a girl being beaten by boys, right? Big boys. She got out the car, left the car running, left the door open, ran screaming at them to leave her child alone.
Yep.
The adults inside the venue did the smart thing. They went on lockdown. They locked the doors. They got the kids down to shelter in place. Really terrifying. Unfortunately, the sad aspect of this is that the 3 security guards, and I want to know who they are, right? I want to know who they are. They legged it. They left all the kids to fend for themselves and they just disappeared, which I think is absolutely disgusting. Then the most heartbreaking part of this story for me is my friend sitting in her car, terrified to get out.
That was the story.
Got a text from her son who said, Mom, I'm scared. The pseudos are all around this place. Don't come in. Stay away. Please stay safe.
We'll play that now because that mum actually is the one who called 3AW and she told the story herself. I'll just play it here now so we can listen to it from her perspective.
So my son went to an innocent party. It was a little dress-up party.
This is the same woman she's referring to, I believe.
Girls' party. He texted me at 11:30 and said, Mum, can you come and pick me up now and bring my mate home? Not a problem. Then I got a text at 11:45 saying, Mum, please stay away. The Sudos are here.
What? Please?
Sudanese gang.
Please stay away. What? He thought it was dangerous for you to go?
He was scared for me to go and pick him up, yes.
So what did you do? As any parent would, you went, I suppose.
I went, but I was scared, Neil. My legs were shaking. I pulled into the car park, and all of the parents were sat in their cars with their doors locked. One parent put her window down a little bit to me and just said, lock yourself in, and she was crying. Her daughter had been apparently attacked inside, so then she actually got out of her car like any mother would and ran through them.
That was reality. This is the reality that the media is not reporting. Let's keep listening. We'll keep listening to the mother's testimony.
Okay, did you see the people he was talking about? Did you see the gang?
Yes, I saw them in the bushes, and what they were doing were waiting for the children to come out of the party and then bash them for their mobile phones, etc.
So you know kids were actually bashed and robbed?
Yes, they were.
Well, do you know of that personally?
Yes, I do.
Goodness, man, and how many people hiding in the bushes?
Look, I wouldn't like to say the police told my girlfriend.
So then this mother, she called the police. She did the right thing. The police were on their way. And I believe, the police then told me many units went, including the K9 unit, but they weren't there yet, right?
Yeah.
So then a boy comes out, a 19-year-old boy, and the mom described the scene. When the boy emerged, one of the moms described the scene. She said it was like something out of a movie because these gangs then hunted down this young boy like he was prey, right? And they attacked him and were stomping on the side of his head so hard that this kid, he's on an AFL scholarship at a school there. This kid can't play for the foreseeable future. He's got really dramatically perforated eardrums. That's how hard they were stomping on him.
So this poor kid walks out of the party, gets stomped on for nothing. He's on an AFL, so an Australian rules football scholarship. He's going to lose everything because this gang, whom our government decided would assimilate to our country, assimilate to our society, jumped him. And again, the media still not a problem, not a word.
So I spoke on, after very disturbing reading all these first-hand accounts on social media, and what was weird as well, and which is upsetting, is that the teenagers involved were so scared from this point, like it rattled their childhood, it rattled everything about who they are, that they then got angry with their mothers for posting on social media about this, and they begged their mothers to take the post down because they feared retaliation. So anyway, I was reading all this and the story was unfolding, and I decided to ring the Narrawarren police, who I believe were the initial ones to respond. And the officer I spoke to was audibly rattled by this. He was upset. Like he was very upset that an incident like this had happened in Berwick, and I felt for him on the phone. And initially he said to me, look, this is an active investigation. I can't tell you too much about it. And I said, look, there must be some facts. You know, one of the mums told me there were 50 plus.
Yep.
And he went very quiet. And he said there were 190.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That is scary.
I think...
Remember, I wanted to check on Monday morning, I spoke to Kerry. I didn't want her last name used. Her son was at a party in Berwick, the old cheese factory, last Friday night. Hundreds of people there. Party gate crushed. Frightening. Parents went to pick up their kids. They were terrorised, sitting in their cars. Police confirmed one incident involving a woman and young woman and theft of a phone. We spoke to several people who said there'd been kids assaulted, more kids assaulted. On the line is Ian. His son was at the party and was certainly attacked. Hello, Ian.
Yeah, g'day, Neil. How are you?
Okay, what happened to your son?
My son was invited to a 16th birthday party on Friday night, and he attended the party. I guess during the course of the evening, he was looking for some friends, and he decided to go outside. He checked his phone just prior to going outside, and it was about 11:30. He was approached by a Sudanese person who came up to him and asked him what the time was, and he told him the time. He said, "Get your phone out." He mentioned that that he didn't have his phone on him. He'd actually had it was in his pocket. The guy said, "I'll get your phone out," and my son realised that this guy was going to try and steal his phone. It was at that point that the gang approached. There was about several others that approached.
How many? When you say gang, how many?
Probably about 7 or more.
Okay, yep. What did they do?
Okay, they came over to him. The guy who asked him for the time put his arm around my son. They came over to him and then started hitting him and knocked him to the ground. Whilst he was on the ground, they started kicking him.
Where? What part? Where were they kicking him?
In the around the body part,
Okay.
the chest, that sort of thing, and in the face.
In the face? They kicked him in the face?
Yes, stomped on his head. He managed to try and get up to his feet again, and he was hit and knocked unconscious. And that's when they continued on, obviously stomping on his head. They were dragging him along the concrete, and one of the gang members stole his Nike runners, which are like a limited edition pair of Nike runners. Yeah.
So he lost his runners and his phone. And his phone as well?
No, his phone was in his pocket.
So how is he? Is he injured?
Yes, he was. He was obviously he suffered concussion. He came home. His sister picked him up, and he came home. The next morning, we were in bed asleep, and the next morning we woke up and saw his face, and he was obviously pretty sore and battered. We took him down to the police station here. where he made a full statement, and from the police station down to the Casey Hospital.